Alright guys, so today's video is going to be a very interesting video because I am going to do something kind of different to the Texas Pride tilt trailer that I have. This is going to be a way of upgrading my trailer with something I probably should have just had built into it originally, but doing it in a way that all of you welders probably wouldn't approve of. So hang tight, I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm sure some people have probably figured out what I'm going to do with these, but probably most people haven't. So in front of you, you are looking at these two Curt 2-inch receivers. Now these are designed to be added to vehicles that don't have receiver hitches. Specifically, I think these are designed for Mercedes. I picked these up from etrailer, who's the sponsor of my channel, so a big shout out to them for sending these to me. And I am going to try to attach these to the side of my tilt deck trailer right about there, one on each side. The reason why I'm attaching these there is because I want to try to put a step on the side of the trailer to give me easier access to the deck of the trailer. Now I have the trailer squatted down really low right now. I have the landing gear almost at their lowest setting, mainly because this is kind of how I keep it when it's in storage. Whenever it's hooked up to the truck, the deck is about 8 inches higher than what you see right here. And to hop on is kind of a hazard, especially if you're wearing boots, because it's a big step up. Now, if I would have gotten their standard deck over trailer, I would have had a step right here. And I should have asked them to spec one in, but because it's a low boy trailer and it sits relatively low, I didn't think I would need one. Well, I'm finding out that I really could use one, and it comes in really handy to have a step right here. Right now, when the trailer's all the way down, it's not too bad. It's about 2 feet off the ground. Whenever it's in its hitched up position, it's about an additional 6 inches above that, so I guess about 2.5 feet. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna take these receivers, put one on each side, and bolt it to the frame right here. None of this part of the deck actually moves, it's all stationary, so I'm not gonna be bolting into anything that could potentially fail if I bolt into it, or that would restrict the trailer from doing what it needs to do. But these are really cool products. Again, what's kind of cool about it is that you can essentially put these on whatever you want to put them on because of how the bolt plate is on the back, and it includes the back end of it as well, which would bolt on like this, plus some very, very large, I think these are M14 bolts, and they will go through this plate right here to the side of the trailer. Then I can put one of those hitch style steps in, and it would give me the ability to essentially put whatever I need. I can put a longer step on, I can put a shorter step on. Shoot, I could even put down a tie down point if I need to, if I want something really low down there, which is kind of cool. Plus, it gives me something else to anchor to if I absolutely have to. Now this is 3/8 inch thick steel plating right here. This is very, very thick steel plating. And these weigh probably a good 15 pounds each. So these are pretty heavy. These have a 3,500 pound towing capacity and a 350 pound tongue weight capacity, which makes them really ideal for what I'm going to be using them for. And if you're interested in these, I'll put a link in the description of this video on where to get these from etrailer. You could attach these to all sorts of different things. Again, they're designed for a Mercedes-Benz ML SUV. That's not what I'm installing it on. I'm installing these on a Texas Pride tilt deck trailer on the side. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's mark where we're going to drill and see how long it takes to mount these things up. Okay, so before I start drilling, I need to take a look underneath here to see what's on the back side. And it's pretty much open channel. So there's channel steel all around, channel steel on that side. I do want to be careful to avoid hitting any of the cabling over there. But on this side, I don't have anything I really need to worry about. Just want to make sure that I stay ahead of any of the cross braces. So as long as I stay within roughly 2 feet of the very front of the trailer, I should avoid everything. The other side over there is the side I'll have to be more careful of, again, because there's cabling underneath there. But in this general area right here, I don't really have to worry about anything. So I believe I'll put the step right in this area, and that will give me the ability to put a grab handle up here as well to kind of pull myself up with. Okay, so right here is where the first step's going to go. Essentially, like that. And that should give me the clearance I need to avoid the cross member, which is back there, and avoid this piece right here from lifting up right there. So I'm just going to use 4 little mounting holes right here. First thing I need to do is mark my holes. The holes appear to be about 5/8 inch in diameter, so it'll be just about the entire size of this step bit. We'll see what happens. Okay, now that I have all 4 holes drilled out, I'm going to test fit this to make sure it will even fit in there. There we go. Looks like it fits perfectly. Everything lined up. Just have to prep the holes, spray them, and then get the back plating on it and tighten up all the bolts. So I'm going to use a Zinkit instant zinc galvanized coating. I'm going to let that dry. Now, something you all may have realized, but I completely didn't see it, so this is I am a human moment, and I made a human mistake, is that even though these receivers come with the bolt and a lock washer, they don't come with the nut or a larger flat washer. So I'm going to need to make a trip to the hardware store and pick up some bolts or some nuts to attach to the other side of this. So while I'm out here, I figure I might as well get the other side drilled out. That way, whenever I come back, all I have to do is mount everything up and tighten it. At least you guys kind of get the idea of what I'm doing right now. So I moved on to the other side. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that the trailer is currently sitting at about its lowest level. So even though the frame right here is about 13 inches off the ground, whenever it's completely hooked up to the truck, this sits about probably 20 inches off the ground. So I'm going to actually connect this receiver to this part of the frame instead of this part of the frame, and I think it's going to give me some flexibility here, especially considering about 4 inches will hang down below here, which isn't that much. It's about the same height as this leg right here, and this one will be a little bit lower than the other side. But once this is connected to the trailer, I don't have to worry at all about this possibly hitting the ground. So this one is going to be mounted to this part of the C-channel frame on this side. Okay, so got it mounted up, or at least got the holes drilled. Still need to get the nuts for the back, as well as a washer for each one of these bolts. So a total of 8 washers and 8 nuts. Looks good. So I'm just going to sand down the other side, zinc coat it, and then we'll be off to the store to get the other pieces here. Also, I just found out that my steps actually just came in. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do before I go to get the nuts is I'm going to mount these. These are little stainless steel grab handles. It's a very thick steel. It's about 1/4 inch thick steel. I'm going to mount these right here as grab handles. So whenever we're getting on the trailer, you step up, grab your grab handle, and get on. Again, these are very thick stainless steel, very solid. I'll probably mount them right about here on the trailer. That way they function perfectly as a quick grab handle to hop on. So let's get these mounted up. Okay, so I've marked the 2 holes. This is going to place it at the perfect height just to grab it and be able to climb on board. They're out of the way, and they should work really well. Got my step bit already in. Let's get to drilling. Okay, got the first handle on. I think it looks really good. So the step will be right here. Step up, grab the handle, and climb right on board. Just got to put one on the other side, and we'll be good to go. Again, stainless steel handle. Let me show you what I did on the other side. So have the bolts coming through, have big washer, lock washer, and a nut on this side. I might grind those off, but I had a bunch of extra bolts like these, so I went ahead and used those. Just got to put one more on the other side, and then we'll be done at least with this project. Still got to get the nuts, lock washers, and washers for the bolts for the receivers. And I really don't need to remove any of the overspray there because it's going to be covering it. All right, I know a lot of people were wondering if I was going to leave the overspray from the zinc coating around here. Good thing about zinc coating, it's kind of like a powder. So after it sets on there, you can just wipe it off with an alcohol wipe. So that's what I did. But you can see the handles, one on each side now. Whenever I get the steps mounted, grab, get on, and you're good to go. That looks really good. So next, all I need to do is pick up the mounting hardware, the steps, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, so I am back. I decided to switch the hardware out with 1/2 inch hardware. It was actually easier to find than just trying to find the nut for the metric hardware that I had. So I'm going to be using this new hardware to hang this to the side of the trailer. Let's see how it works. Now you're probably going to wonder why I'm using grade 5 nuts on grade 8 bolts. It's because they were out of grade 8 nuts, so that's all I had available to me. And I think for this application, this should be just fine. Okay, so I have this side on. Looks really good. It's connected properly. Just need to do the other side, and then we'll go ahead and test it with one of the steps. Okay, so I got this side on. Figured I didn't need to record it since it's pretty much the same as the other side. Plus, it really speeds up the process of installing it when you don't have to move a camera around. Anyways, this one hangs down. Like I said, it hangs down about 4 inches, roughly the same as the housing to the landing gear. Don't think I'll ever have an issue making contact with anything. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and unbox the steps, show you the 2 steps that I got, and we'll see how they fit each side. So hang tight. All right, guys, so these are my 2 steps. They both plug into a 2-inch receiver. This is the Curt. This one is the least expensive of the 2. It's made out of powder-coated steel. It's very heavy duty. This part number is 31001. Step pad, it's got some traction tape right here. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It just plugs into the side. This one will probably stick off further off the side of the trailer. Let's throw it in here so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so this one will hang off the side about 4 inches. So I'll have to remove that one whenever I'm not using it, which is easy enough, and I can just throw it inside the storage. But this Carr Step is a flip-up step. So this is going to mount right here. Has a little hardware pack that comes with it. A little bit of assembly, but not much. Once I put that on, this is going to sit almost flush with the side, and it flips up and flips down. This looks like it's made out of a casted steel versus a plate steel. But we are going to go ahead and mount this to here and get it all attached and see what it looks like. Okay, so it's assembled. So you can see it is definitely a shorter profile than the other one. We're going to go ahead and slip this one in and see how it looks. Nice thing about this is I can pretty much keep it there. Oh yeah, so this one folds down like that. When the trailer's up, that's going to be a good 5 or 6 inches higher off the ground. Yeah, I like this one. This is a really cool step. The other one I don't have pinned into place, but we'll see how this one works. Again, this one sticks off the side about 4 inches, so if you're going to step on this one, that's nice too. Now the difference here is that the trailer, again, is at its lowest setting. This is probably going to be upwards of about here, and the deck's going to be about here whenever the trailer's hitched completely up to the truck. But that works really well. And with this one down, you can see it sticks off about 1.5 to 2 inches, but it's also still in a very convenient position, and it'll be about that high off the ground whenever the trailer is hitched up to the truck. Overall though, that's pretty cool. I can remove them both for security if I don't want them on here. They both fit inside of the toolbox, so they'll both accomplish the exact task that I'm looking for them to. So I think this is a really, really cool upgrade. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to the Curt Receiver, as well as this Carr flip-up step, the Curt Step, and anything else that is relevant to the install, because I think there could be some people who might use this on other types of trailers. I mean, this mount is so multi-purpose, so universal. You could attach this to a boat trailer, you could attach this to the side of an RV, you could attach this to a bumper. There's just so many practical applications that you can use this assembly for, and then it gives you essentially a hitch, even with chain connections. In my case, it's just going to be for a step off the side. Now, I know if I was into welding and I could have, you know, fabricated some type of a permanent step here, but in my opinion, this is a very practical application, and it's definitely going to accomplish what I want it to. And it wasn't terribly expensive. I mean, this mount was about $80, I think. This step was relatively pricey, but it's a very robust step. I know it looks like plastic. It's definitely not plastic. And, you know, the other side was about $80. So if you wanted to do this on one side of a trailer, you're looking about $150 in parts. I think I paid $12 for all of the half-inch fasteners, including washers and the lock washer. So it, again, isn't a terribly expensive upgrade, and it adds a lot of flexibility. I like this one because when the step's up, it doesn't stick off the side of the trailer. It's tucked underneath. Because I'm already at 102 inches wide if you include the rub rail, and with this, all I have to do is walk up, flip the step down, use my nifty new handhold right here, and I'm on the trailer. If I'm using this one, or if there's other people helping me, that's also a very convenient step. Overall, this is a really cool upgrade. Very happy with it. Again, guys, I'll put a link in the description of this video. If this is something you want to do, I'll throw some hitch pins in here, get them locked in place, and we will be ready to rock and roll. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.